chill beats.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know I've been missing for a couple of weeks since y'all have seen me, but it's only been a week and 4 days since I've had my little girl. I'm going to tell y'all about my labor and delivery story. So let's get into the video. Okay, so it all started at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, September 30th, and my contractions wasn't bad, so I was trying to go back to sleep. Like, I really just thought that my body was just uncomfortable, and I was trying to get comfortable so I can go to sleep. So that's basically what I was trying to do, even though I was having contractions, but I didn't realize I was having contractions. So around 10-ish, almost 11, my contractions, I started having really bad contractions. So I had told my mom, and she told me to breathe through them and stuff. And so but she wound up telling me to get in the tub so I can like feel more comfortable with having the contractions and then also breathing. So I just ran the hot water on my back, so I stayed in the shower for probably like 30 minutes or so. And by that time, when I did get out of the tub, I had like gotten really comfortable clothes, and me and my mom did some walking. We walked to the stop sign and back. We pretty much just walked around, just walked it out, and I kept using the breathing technique that she told me to use. So after doing that for a while, a lot of my labor part was like done at home. So when I did go in at 1 something, they did my IV. They put the this thing on me that monitors the baby heartbeat while being connected to the IV and stuff like that. So I wound up having her at 2:56 p.m. and she was 6 pounds and 19.5 inches long. So with that being said, oh my goodness, like I didn't get to have an epidural. I didn't, even though in my birth plan, I was planning to get excuse me, I was planning to get an epidural, but for some reason it just didn't work that way. So I didn't get an epidural. And when they did check me before I had her, like when I was getting my IV done and stuff like that, I was already 9 centimeters, 9+ centimeters. So like her head was like right there, but my water bag didn't break. So that may be different for most people. So and it was pretty quick. So, you know, I wasn't in labor for a very long time because, like I said, most of my labor and stuff was done at home. So when I did go to the doctor, by them having to break my water and stuff like that, at 2:56 p.m. she was born. So that part was just hectic because I expected to have an epidural, but it was just like, oh no, you're too late for an epidural. You know, my mom, she was like, oh no, you don't need an epidural, you got this. You know, I'm just looking at her like, this don't feel nice. But I wound up going through it, and I literally almost lost myself. Like, it's hard to push with all your might because you kind of don't know where to push. Like, kind of feel like you have to poop, but it's different. I don't know, I can't explain it. Like, it's different. You'd have to go through it in order to understand what I'm saying. So my mom, you know, she was there. She was like being very supportive, and also my sister was there and being very supportive also. My mom was just like, okay, you got this, you can do this. And like within the third, I did 5 pushes. So within the 3rd push, I was just like, oh no, I can't do this. You know, my mom was like, no, you got it. You're right there. So after the last 2 pushes, then that's when Harmony came, and she was good. There was nothing wrong with her. Me, I had to get stitches. So I had to get 30 stitches, and I did lose a lot of blood. So They put me in the observation room after, and after they, you know, they have to keep coming back and checking me and stuff like that. That was the most irritating part, because you want to be left alone after all that. You just want to be left alone, and they just kept like irritating me because but they have to do that. But I was just being irritated because I just wanted to be left alone. So they just kept checking me to make sure I wasn't losing any more blood than what I was supposed to make sure I have to make sure that, like, when I did go to the restroom, I was peeing a certain amount and just stuff like that. And my mom slept in the bed with me just because, like, I wanted her to sleep next to me, and it was just more of a comfort thing for me because I was not okay. Like, I had to take 2 different types of pain medicines. The first one was, it was an ibuprofen, but it was like for something else. And then the highest dosage of the ibuprofen that they gave me was 800 milligrams, and that was because my pain was awful. Like, I hated getting up. I just wanted to be left alone, period. But I had to be able to walk and stand up and do things on my own in order to leave the hospital. But yeah, so they had me in the observation room because my blood pressure went sky high. Like, it was not normal. So they did that, and they just kept checking me. Also, they kept messing with the baby and, like, just changing her milk and just different things like that. And the most annoying part was when they kept trying to make her latch on. And even though she didn't have a problem with trying to latch on, because I do breastfeed, I also bottle feed too, so I do both. But they kept trying to make her latch on to one side because she wasn't latching on to my left side. Did I say that right? Yeah, she wasn't latching onto my left side, so they kept latching her onto my right side. So my right side was a lot sore than my left side, and it was just very frustrating because it was like, okay, I just don't. Maybe when I get home, I'll be better at doing this, but right now I'm at the hospital. I really don't want to be out there. I don't want to be touched. I just want to do this on my own time, like on my own comfort time. And they weren't understanding. Like, they were just like, oh, you gotta do this now, you gotta do this, that. And I was just like, my mom could see that I was very frustrated, and so she was like, oh no, you know, she's just gonna bottle feed here, and then maybe when she gets home, she's going to do that later. Because they kept, you know, they're supposed to allow you that time to bond and stuff like that, but they weren't. They were just kind of rushing the process, telling me different things. Different nurses came in different shifts, and they were just telling me different things, and I'm just like, okay, no. I just started to get very irritated. So the second day, I want to say it was that same day, like, that I had Harmony. Yeah, it was the same day that I had Harmony. And my stepdad came, Uncle Steve came, and my boyfriend's dad came, and they were watching a game. Like, they saw that I was okay, and they saw Harmony, and they saw she was okay, and they were like, oh, what's the game? What channel is the game on? So they were just watching the game, and it was just the funniest thing ever. Like, I was just like, oh my goodness, who watches the game at a hospital? But I mean, I guess they do. So they came for support, and they were just like, it was just really cool to see them come. After that, I stayed in the hospital for 2.5 days. So on discharge day, I had to go to this parenting class. The parenting class was just talking about, like, for people that breastfed, for people who are just gonna bottle feed, for people who went through, like, having a C-section, what to do, how to take care of yourself, how long's the healing process, and for people that had a vaginal birth. I just had a vaginal birth. I didn't have any medication or anything like that. It was just basically natural. So I just basically took down different notes. They gave us different little pamphlets and stuff like that to read when we get home. So, and that was pretty cool. And you had to go to that class in order to get discharged. So I had to go. But yeah, other than that, my experience with that was just it was just very different. Everybody experiences different things, and what I went through, somebody else might not go through that. I can honestly say, like, I didn't have a bad pregnancy. I didn't have hard labor or anything like that. It was just the part where when I actually had to have her, it was just different for me. And just like my body was just so different. Like after that, and I had to stand up, after it was like, I felt like gravity was just pulling my body down, and it just felt like I was gonna pass out. But I knew that I had to be able to do that in order to leave the hospital. So yeah, after that, um, being discharged, they took forever. Like they were supposed to discharge me and discharge the baby, but they only discharged me. And I thought that when they discharge you, because remember, this is my first baby, so I didn't know. So I thought that when they just discharge you and you sign certain papers, that means you can go. When really that's not how that works. They discharge you and they have to discharge the baby also. So I'm going to the elevator, with the baby, and the hospital that I go to, they had this little ankle bracelet on her, ankle monitor thing. Like, say if somebody was to try to take someone's baby and they go down the elevators, it would, like, the alarm will go off throughout the whole hospital. So that's what it did. And we were just like, oh no, we're not trying to steal a baby, like, this is my baby. But they were taking so long to discharge her. I didn't know, the nurses didn't tell me that they had to discharge baby, like the baby papers are separate. So anyway, the lady came in there, and she's like, after like 45 minutes of waiting, she gave me the discharge papers for baby, just basically like stalling, just telling me stuff that I've already learned in the parenting class and stuff that my mom has already told me. Like, what are you stalling for? It was just irritating. So we're rolling down, and we finally get to like go down to the car and stuff. My mom got in the car, and she just like drove around so that they can get me in the car and get the baby in the car also. So we did that, and yeah, so we're like on our way home and just trying to adjust to what it's like to just be a mom. Now, like I said, everybody is different. Everybody's baby is different. Everything is just completely different. So Harmony is a week and 4 days, and she's very intelligent. Like, she will look at you while you're talking. She responds to noises very well. My mom did tummy time with her the other day for like 20 minutes or so, and she moves her legs, but she just can't quite get the concept of like picking her, like moving her head out the way, because her head is heavy to her. So she tries to just like, but if she's sitting up, she does move her head side to side. Like I said, she responds to people. Yeah, she doesn't have any problems. She eats like it's nothing. Like, she will eat, and then poop right after, like literally right after. She doesn't have a problem with burping or anything. She's just a normal baby. Like, she's a good baby. She does throw tantrums, like really bad tantrums that 1 week olds are not supposed to throw. So that's a little different. She sleeps through the day, and she's up all night, which is why my mom is up with her every night, because she just doesn't sleep that well. I mean, she sleeps when she goes to sleep. Don't get me wrong, she's gone, but through the night she just doesn't sleep. And I guess that's just because she sleeps all through the day. So she's just up at night, and my mom is just with her and playing with her and just different little things. And I don't have her at night because, like I said, I take medicine because of the pain and stuff like that, and because of the high dosage that they have me on, it just has me knocked out, and that's not, and I can't watch Harmony the way that I should. So my mom has her. But yeah, that is my labor and delivery story. And if you liked this video and you want to know more, you want to see more, make sure you comment and let me know what you would like to see. And thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.